Hello everybody, and welcome to another Pauper video here on the channel. Today we are going to be playing Kuldotha Boros. Last time we played Boros Monarch, which is has a lot of the same cards, but it plays out quite differently from this deck. So we're going to go for a little bit of a redemption league, because we kind of got stumped in our last Pauper event. We won our first match, then lost a bunch of them. This deck, I've been having great success with it in the games I've been playing. Also, welcome, Max Mitchell. I'm going to finish the deck before I answer the questions. But, okay. So, this deck is built around the interaction between Glint Hawk and Kor Skyfisher with Prophetic Prism and Ichor Wellspring. So, essentially, you play a Prophetic Prism, say. So, you play 2 mana, you draw a card, and then you can, next turn, play Glint Hawk, bounce the Prophetic Prism to your hand, and then replay the Prophetic Prism to make essentially all of your cards cantrip, which just give you a ton of value over the course of a long game. Kor Skyfisher can also bounce your lands, which is relevant because we do have some cycling lands, 2 Secluded Steppes and 2 Forgotten Caves, so we can bounce our own lands and cycle them later. The reason this deck is called Kuldotha Boros is because it runs Kuldotha Rebirth, which means it's 1 red to sacrifice and you sacrifice an artifact and you create 3 1/1 goblin creatures. Works really well with Kuldotha Boros. I mean, it works really well with Ichor Wellspring because you draw a card when it leaves the battlefield, so you essentially the sacrifice ability becomes an upside. To facilitate this, we run a ton of artifacts. We run these 8 artifacts here, and then we run 4 Ancient Dens and 4 Great Furnaces. And then to go with the Kuldotha Rebirths, we run 2 Battle Screeches. It's like essentially 4 mana, make 4 1/1 birds if you have any of your other white creatures in play. Rally the Peasants is a nice payoff. If you get up to 6 mana, you can cast both in 1 turn, though most of the time you'll just be able to cast the first half on 1 turn and then the next half on the other turn if you really need it. Going into the removal suite, we have 4 Lightning Bolts, which can also hit face. Galvanic Blast, which is actually going to be able to do 4 a lot of the time in our deck, because we do have 4 Ancient Dens, 4 Great Furnaces, and then these 8 artifacts here. Then we have 3 Journey to Nowheres for big creatures like Gurmag Angler and problematic cards like that. Kor Skyfisher, we already went over. It's very useful in this deck. You can bounce your cycling land, you can bounce your Wellsprings, your Prophetic Prisms, just pretty good value overall. You can also bounce Thraben Inspector. This is the other white creature we have. It's pretty nice in the deck. It's just another creature thing to play on turn 1. Makes a clue, which in a pinch we can bounce a clue with Glint Hawk or sacrifice a clue to Kuldotha Rebirth. It's just a nice little bit of value. Glint Hawk, as I said, is pretty cool. Being able to bounce Prophetic Prisms and Ichor Wellsprings means that a lot of the time it's like a 3 mana 2/2 flyer draw card, but it's split up over a couple turns, so it's better than that. You can also use this to bounce your artifact lands if you're going to miss a land drop, to just make sure this card essentially costs no mana then. And yeah, that is pretty much it for the main deck. I'm going to go over the land base a little bit. We have 3 Windscarred Crags. Sometimes if you're in a matchup where they're really aggressive, you can sometimes bounce your Windscarred Crags with Kor Skyfisher in a pinch. We have 3 Boros Garrison, just another way to reset Forgotten Caves. And then we have 4 Great Furnace, 4 Ancient Dens. That's just my brother. We have 4 Ancient Dens, 4 Great Furnaces, then we have a couple plains and a mountain. No, we don't have a mountain. We used to have. Yeah, we do have a mountain right here. This is one of the best decks in Pauper, Max. Then onto the sideboard. Our sideboard, the thing is all of our main deck cards are quite strong and versatile. Like our burn spells are pretty good in every matchup. All of our cards are pretty good. So we don't need a ton of sideboard cards for any matchup. We have 2 Lone Missionaries for aggro, especially burn. You can pick them up again with your Kor Skyfishers, and if you need to, 2 Gorilla Shamans for affinity. A Relic of Progenitus just to bring in against graveyard decks if we think we need it. Prismatic Strands is good against various decks in the format like Boggles, Burn. It's kind of clunky though, so I only want 1. Kor Sanctifiers is just a nice little extra card to have against Affinity, Boggles. Standard Bearer is a good card against Boggles. It's also a cool sideboard card against Burn. It means they have to target it with a Burn spell, so it's pretty good. Then we have 4 Pyroblast for blue decks, 3 Electricity for Elves primarily, and you can also bring it in against Boggles. Elemental Blast is an uncommon, Max Mitchell, I'm pretty sure. We have Pyroblast, which is the same thing, essentially. So yeah, we're going to take this into a league. I've been having good success with the deck. I think it's really fun, and it's just one of those decks that feels like every card works really well together. So it's a pretty fun one. Kuldotha Boros, perfect. And yeah, you don't want to over sideboard with this type of deck because all the cards work really well together. Like, you don't really ever want to take out your artifacts. The cards that I usually shave when I do cut cards are Rally the Peasants, if I'm against a deck where I'm not going to be able to make a board state. And then if I do cut Rally the Peasants, sometimes I'll cut a Kuldotha Rebirth or a Battle Screech or something like that. But all the white creatures are pretty much never cut. The Prisms and Wellsprings are pretty much never cut. And the reason this deck is good is because it's got a lot of cards that are good against all of the major decks in the format. So against blue decks, you can usually bring in, like, you have Pyroblast in the board, which is really good. And also in the main deck, you have just a bunch of flyers, which is something that the blue decks are usually relying on, is the opponent not being able to block their, like, flying creatures, their little 1/1s and stuff. You also have a ton of burn to kill their creatures. You can also race a lot of decks. You have a lot of chump blockers in the form of rebirth tokens. Against black decks, you just actually destroy them. Like, any black deck, like, basically can't beat you just because a lot of their removals are edict based, which means that they're based on you sacrificing a creature. And when you play Kuldotha Rebirth, it just essentially means that you're, like, getting 3 creatures to, like, blank all their removal. Okie doke. We will go first. And this is a fine hand. We have the Ichor Wellspring Kuldotha Rebirth combo. We also have a Kor Skyfisher. I think we're going to lead with our Secluded Step. We can always bounce it back later with a Kor Skyfisher. I think we might go Secluded Step, Wellspring, and then we can go Skyfisher Rebirth on the next turn. Opponent is on a mulligan. We could also play we could hold up Galvanic Blast on turn 1, but given we don't know what our opponent's doing and we do kind of have a nice little 3-turn curve out plan, I think we'd rather have the Secluded Step in play. I don't think it's correct to go Great Furnace, sack it to make 3 1/1s on turn 1. That just seems kind of bad. Though there are sometimes some hands where you will do that. We're just going to play our land. Okay, so we're playing against Tron. I think this is a pretty good matchup because they don't really develop on the board and we can pretty easily combat a lot of their card advantage. Okay, now we'll go land. Wellspring. Yeah, and see, the Boros Garrison can bounce to Secluded Step if we need the mana. And the thing about Pauper Tron is a lot of the things it does is it plays, like, value cards, and we can, like, fly over a lot of the cards it plays to block or kill them with our stuff. Okay, so now we don't really want to bounce a land because we have Battle Screech that we really want to play, but we do want to develop the Kor Skyfisher. So I think that means we're going to postpone the Kuldotha Rebirth. So I think we're going to go Skyfisher, bounce Wellspring, Garrison back our Secluded Step because now we have enough lands, and then we'll play yeah. And this way we can Battle Screech, flash it back next turn. Because we do have the white mana and we have an extra creature. And then the next turn we can Wellspring Rebirth. And we do have a Galvanic Blast if our opponent plays, like, a flyer or something. Okay, so they're Flame Slashing. Makes the Battle Screech plan a little bit worse, for sure. It may change our plan into Wellspring plus Rebirth. Because we kind of want to use Battle Screech when we have a white creature out. Okay, so if we go Wellspring, Rebirth it, play a land. I think we're going to do that. Battle Screech makes just less tokens. Okay, Rebirth it. And we actually are going to play a tap land now because we do have... No, we'll just play this and cycle one of our lands. We don't really need these 3 lands, and this is just why we run cycling lands. So when we have enough lands, we can just cycle them away. Okay, Ancient Stirrings, looking maybe for a Tron land. Yep, he got Urza's Tower. Oops, yeah, he plays it. Chromatic Sphere. We have a pretty proactive clock against him. And we can Journey to Nowhere a big creature if he plays one. We're going to, I think we're just going to Plains, Battle Screech, cycle. We'll hold up red mana though. I think Tron may run one main deck Electrickery, so we would kind of get wrecked by that, but... And we did already play our land, so... Okay, we'll just cycle Forgotten Cave, or... We don't have 3 artifacts for Galvanic Blast is the main problem. Okay, so he's getting green mana. Crop rotation. Okay, so he has Tron. And he has 2 Prisms, so he has all the colored mana he wants. He could have Rolling Thunder here, which would be kind of annoying, because he could kill all of our creatures and do some damage to us. Haunted Fengraf. If he just taps it for a big creature, though, we can Journey Nowhere. So he has 2 cards in hand, but he has a Chromatic Sphere to essentially get another card, and he has this to get a land, so... Okay, we will cycle this. Thraben Inspector's nice. We'll Thraben, Flashback, Battle Screech. Actually, first thing we'll play our Prophetic Prism. This way, if we draw another white creature, we can... okay, now we will flash it back. Attack with all 3. Now we'll play a land tapped, gain a life, and pass. And then we'll leave up cycling this plus bolt, or we can just crack our clue. And now we do have 3 artifacts, so we can deal 4 to him. So we have 7 points of burn here. That's another thing about this deck, is it has a ton of burn that can go to the face if you really want to close it out. And he hasn't really done a ton. This deck also does run a couple of fog spells, so that's also important to note. Okay, so Ulamog's Crusher is kind of bad against our deck. We have Journey to Nowheres, we have tons of tokens. We just have pretty much all the cards we want against that type of effect. Okay, so we are going to lead with Journey to Nowhere onto the Crusher. Then we will attack with everything. So we have enough burn to kill him. I don't think there's a reason not to go for it. Yep, we got him. And then we were going to be able to score Kor Skyfisher back of Prism. Okie doke. So against Tron, we don't really have any sideboard cards for the matchup. I think the matchup's just good. I guess we'll bring in Kor Sanctifiers. We don't really want Gorilla Shaman, but Sanctifiers is fine, maybe. We don't want Prismatic Strands. We don't really want Relic. But I think our main deck is really well suited to beat Tron. So we brought in Kor Sanctifiers. What would we take out? I guess Relic does hit Moment's Peace, but I don't think we necessarily care a ton about Moment's Peace. So what would we take out? We could take out a Journey to Nowhere for a Sanctifiers. Yeah, let's try it like that. Journey to Nowhere does hit Ulamog's Crusher, but we aren't overly concerned with Crusher because he only has one. He has to have Tron to get it in play. And if we draw a couple Journey to Nowheres, we could just not have enough pressure to kill him before he just starts slamming stuff. And that's the cool thing about this deck is in like a lot of times if you're playing like a deck where your removal is going to be dead, like our Lightning Bolts and Galvanic Blasts are like not going to kill his stuff all the time in this matchup. Since we have so many of them and they're so efficient, we can still get there in terms of just burning him out with them. This hand doesn't have a second land, so we're going to mulligan. We don't really need to keep sketchy hands. We'll keep this one. It has a Prophetic Prism. We'll put that on the bottom. It's not the end of the world to not have a second land, but the deck has a ton of like value built in, so it's also kind of bad to not have a second land when you can already get a ton of value out of your cards. Okay, no natural Tron is nice. Okay, Prism. We're going to play our own Prism. Another Glint Hawk. Okay, so we're going to be getting a lot of value. If we draw one more untapped land, then we can Glint Hawk, Glint Hawk, play Prism again. Ancient Stirrings. This is actually pretty good by him because he's figuring out which Tron land he needs to get with the map. Okay, so now he's going to have Tron next turn. This is one of those starts. Okay, perfect. That was a great draw. Maybe we want to keep all the journeys after all. I just kind of like killing his prisms. So we will white for Glint Hawk. Actually, we will white for Glint Hawk. Bounce the Prism. This way we get to leave up mana. Yep. Bounce the Ancient Den. Okay, perfect. Yep, he's going to get the Tower. And if he does go for Ulamog's Crusher here, we do have the Journey to Nowhere. Maybe we just want all of our Journey to Nowheres, because they do get Tron a pretty decent amount. Okay, he got that. Playing another map. Might mean he doesn't have anything. 7 mana for... Oh, he's got a colored mana too. 7 mana for... Fangren Marauder. Okay, yeah, we're going to be... I think we're just going to Bolt Blast that. Okay, so we're going to go land, Bolt. This way we can still answer a bigger threat later with our Journey to Nowhere. We're fine 2-for-1ing ourselves because he's like got a bunch of cards that only get lands, so we'll come out in a decent spot in the long run. And we have a lot of 2-for-1s in our deck just because all of our like cards come with draw card attached. Now if he slams Ulamog's Crusher, which we couldn't have killed with Bolt Blast, we can do good work still. Okay, Prism. See, the thing about Paupertron is the payoffs aren't as backbreaking. So if you just kill them, they don't usually like win the game on the turn they come in. He can Haunted Fengraf back the Fangren Marauder, which is kind of annoying. But we can journey to nowhere. Wretched Griff. Okay, that's a pretty good one. I'll be right back. Okay, so he's got a bolt. Okay, so we're going to Skyfisher, bounce Prism, play Prism. Now play. Yeah, I think we'll... Skyfisher, yeah, we'll Skyfisher, bounce Prism. Play Prism. Play Boros Garrison, bounce our land, and pass the turn. So we know 2 of the cards in his hand. And I think we're more concerned about the Fengraf Marauder than the Wretched Griff. And we don't really care about the life gain. Like, sure, it's annoying, but our deck can grind perfectly well. Like, look at all the card draw we have in our hand. And I think we can let the Fengraf Marauder sit and play for a turn and just develop our board a little bit. Another Fengraf. Okey-doke. Fangren. Not Fengraf Marauder. Okay. Kills our Skyfisher. Okay, so we can Glint Hawk, bounce our Prism. Battle Screech, then flashback Battle Screech. Play a land. This just develops a board. It makes Rally the Peasants, I think, win us the game. Or at least come very close to doing that. Because it will give all of our creatures, they'll all become 5 power. Yeah, we don't really care about taking 5. Wretched Griff. Yep. We might actually care more about Wretched Griff than his other removal. Okay. Going to lead with Prism. I mean, not than his other finishers. Okay, that's a good one. We can kill a Prism maybe with it. Huh. I wish it was another Journey to Nowhere. That's probably a sideboarding mistake. I'll play another I'll play a Wellspring. Skyfisher back my Prism. Play land. And pass the turn. And I'll cycle the Secluded Step. That's quite bad for me. They do run Electric Ring. Okay, he has 2 cards left in hand. If this was another Journey to Nowhere, I'd feel very good right now because he has like 3 cards. I would have killed 2 of his guys. As it is, things are looking a little bit grimmer than they should be. $10 mana. Oh, I'm just dead to Rolling Thunder. Yep. Can't help thinking I lost it with my sideboarding. Also, probably should have just killed this. Yeah. Okay. We'll learn from our mistakes and take out the Sanctifiers, bring back in that Journey to Nowhere. He has a lot more creatures than I anticipated. And then we'll run it like this. This is a fine hand. We'll keep it. We can go Prism, Skyfisher, Prism. Then we draw Kuldotha. We have Rally the Peasants. No turn one play is kind of good for us. Prism. Okay, we just want to hit a land here. Okay. Land, please. No land, but it's not the end of the world. We could have bounced our land, played it, and Kuldotha our Prophetic Prism, but since we want to draw lands, I think it's better to just bounce our Prism for now. We do have the Rebirth plus Rally the Peasants, which is a ton of damage. He's going to kill our Skyfisher. Yep. Does he not have a land either? Okay, he does have a land. Land, dang it. We're going to Wellspring. Play our Cave. That was a nice draw. Now we can Kuldotha Rebirth to draw an extra card and get some nice value. We do have 3 artifacts for Galvanic Blast if you do want to sack it. Okay, Prism. He hit that off of the Rebirth, off of the Stirrings. Okay, so he still doesn't have Tron, which is great for me. Okay, so we are going to Rebirth this. Draw. Okay, that's such a nice draw. Then we will Prism. Draw. Garrison back. An untapped land, I think. And then at the end step, we will discard a Battle Screech. Yeah, I think we'll discard Battle Screech. We could have discarded Bolt. It was between Bolt and Battle Screech. We're getting to the point where we can rally and flashback in the same turn. We have 2, 3, 4 mana. You could Electrickery us here, but we can rebuild. Prism, okay. Definitely not going to... I don't think we're going to play our next Kuldotha Rebirth. We can just chill out, attack with some goblins, draw some more cards, wait for him to tap out before we go for our rally kill. So we have 4, 8, 11. Thank you so much, Pavlov Say, for the follow. I really appreciate it. Okay, I think we have to win now. So we can kill this, and then we attack. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana, so we can rally. Flashbacks is 5, 10, 15. 5, 10, 15, 19, 21. Yeah, we'll kill him. That's why Rally's good in this deck, because we have like a lot of ways to make multiple creatures. Unless he has Gut Shot. It just makes all of our guys huge. And we won the match. Even though we sideboarded incorrectly, we did not get punished with the match loss. Okie doke. On to round 2. That's just the power of the deck, though. We were playing against the deck that should have been able to win the late game against us because its entire mission is to win late games because of all the mana and powerful stuff it has, but we can just stomp it because of all the card draw we have built into our deck. You would like to go first? And this hand doesn't have an artifact, which is kind of a problem, but we can turn 1 cycle. I think we're going to keep. We have 8 copies of the artifact. We do get to cycle on turn 1. And we can just Kor Skyfisher bounce lands if we need to. And if it's a control deck, we can just wait until we find an artifact. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have time to find an artifact. Okay, we found one first try. That was lucky, to be sure. Just going to jam the artifact. Okay, we can Skyfisher and then bounce Wellspring and then bounce a land, or we can just do nothing, wait for him to tap his mana a little bit, and then go for like 2 spells in a turn. That's a thing to do against control decks. So, say he just plays land and then says go. He could easily have a counter spell, and then if we just jam a spell into it, he can kind of stop us. Okay, if he goes for duress here, it's not even the end of the world. Okay, so he's gonna, if he holds up counter spell here, we can just do nothing on our turn, and it kind of works out nicely for us. So we're going to just Boros Garrison back a Ancient Den, and then we're going to pass. So the thing this does is it makes it so that if he ever wants to get us, he can't, like counter spells are going to cost like 2 mana. So it's just going to be less efficient for him is in the long run. Okay, so he's tapping for blue, then he's bouncing his land. Okay, so now he now has less mana up, so now we can resolve maybe even 2 things and kind of get him. And he's discarding a hand size. Okay. So we're going to play our untapped land. Then we're going to Kor Skyfisher our Wellspring. And then we are going to develop our Wellspring. And now he has to answer our Kor Skyfisher before he can do anything else. So if he taps mana to kill our Skyfisher, then we can resolve something else. But if on turn 2 we just, okay, he's a land destruction deck. Okay, that's good to know. So he's not going to have as many counter spells if he's just focused on destroying lands. Okay, so I guess we will play that land. Play our Skyfisher. Get in for 2. Land destruction is kind of annoying, but we do have another land. We have a lot of card draw to find more lands. And we have a pretty decent clock in the air. Whew. Okay, he's probably going to destroy another land. Windswept Heath. Not Windscarred Crag is the likely option. It's also nice that we have Prophetic Prism, so it's going to be pretty impossible for us to get mana screwed. Fade away. Wow, that's a good one. Okay. That was really brutal. What the heck? What is that card? So I think we're going to play our Glint Hawk and bounce our land. Just so we can put another little bit of a clock on him. Jeez, fadeaway is brutal in the early game. What the heck? We're just going to throw our Galvanic Blast at his face. So the way this deck usually wins, like land destruction, is they play Gurmag Angler for really cheap. But since all of our cards are flying, we'll probably just be able to kill him in a couple turns. That's why we bounced our Ancient Den. Now we can still make a land drop on our turn. And all of our creatures are pretty sizable, so he'll... Perfect. Oh my gosh, that was a great draw. His land destruction is turned off, but we're still able to cast cheap spells. And we have lethal next turn. Fade away. Oh, oops. Jeez. Fadeaway is a monster card. What the heck? Oh dear. Don't know if I could have beaten Fadeaway number 2. But that still feels awful. Oh my gosh. Yikers. Yep. Okay, so Fadeaway number 2 is brutal. Wow, that was absurd. I've never played against this deck with fadeaways. I played against the mono black version, but oh my gosh, double fadeaway. Yeah, and we're just pretty much dead on board. Like if we draw Great Furnace, then we can make 3 1/1s, which might slow him down. Yeah, I think we're just dead. Brutal. Okay. We're gonna bring in this. We're taking out Battle Screech. We're never gonna get up to that much mana. Probably taking out Rally if we can figure out what to bring in. We're gonna bring in Pyroblast. And I kind of want Relic, but this is another cheap permanent. We're gonna cut Bolt. Hopefully we can dodge the fadeaway bullet. Jeez, that was brutal. Oh my gosh. Fadeaway is like the best land destruction spell ever. What the heck? This is a half the mulligan, this one. We only have 1 land against the land destruction deck. Okay, we'll keep this one though. We kind of have to keep this one, which is kind of sad because the hand is kind of bad. Put lands on top. Ideally, we'd be able to put a little bit of a clock on him. Okay, turn 1 land destruction spell. He is 2 for wanting himself to do it though, so it's not the end of the world. Maybe we were supposed to play our worst land first. We do have all 3 Pyroblasts in our hand. But you can't go too low on resources against a deck that's fundamentally just trying to kill your lands. That fadeaway, though. Oh my gosh. It's funny because I think we might have won if we'd known what his deck was in game 1, just because we could have countered his... We could have just played our stuff out earlier instead of just holding it. He whiffed on his Augur of Bolas, which is nice. Going to play a mountain. We're just going to counter it because we are low on... We do have 3 Pyroblasts in our hand, so each one's worth a little bit less than it normally would be. Like if you only have 1 Pyroblast, you kind of want to save it for the fadeaway. But in this situation... Okay, we are still hitting our land drops, which is kind of nice. And if he's just trading 1 for 1 with our lands, then we're going to be fine. Okay, so opponent has 3 cards in hand. We don't really care about this 1 damage chipping through. Oh my gosh. Another Pyroblast? Really? I mean, it's not like the cards we sided out would have been better than Pyroblast here. It's still kind of annoying. He knows we have no more. He knows we have no more lands. Oh dear. No, not like this. We're gonna play our Thraben Inspector. Not gonna crack the clue just yet, though. We'll crack it on end step. Okay. We're gonna dig for a land. Perfect. And then if he makes us sack permanents with the card, we can sack Ichor Wellspring and Thraben Inspector. Pestilence is going to be a little bit of annoyance, but if we Journey to Nowhere Augur of Bolas, then he can't use it anymore. Things are starting to look up. I think he's running out of things to do, so he's going to Pestilence. We needed to get a little bit of a threat going. Okay, we're going to save our Pyroblast now for a potential fadeaway shot, or whatever it's called. I'm just thinking of basketball now. Like, the stupid blue card that screwed us game one. The cool thing about this matchup for us, though, is that if he does struggle a little bit to find his lands, we can just... like if he just doesn't find action cards, we can just kind of win. Because we will find lands eventually a lot of the time. Okay, we're going to go to combat. We're going to Wellspring. Hold up 2 Pyroblasts. Ooh. No, that just gets so wrecked by Pestilence. We're not going to Kuldotha. If he ends up killing the Pestilence, then we can just easily Kuldotha. It's not great. So next turn he's just going to flash it back. Let's Journey to Nowhere's Augur of Bolas. This way, if he does flash it back, he loses his Augur. And we will bounce our Forgotten Cave. Now we do have enough lands that even if he does do some crazy stuff, he can't hose us too badly. Now if he does go for Pestilence, he loses it, and then we can Kuldotha Rebirth. He doesn't actually have enough to flash. He does have enough to flash back the Edict. Yeah, we will Pyroblast that. Now I'm realizing that we tapped our mana incredibly poorly. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us. Oh, thank goodness. You can activate this 3 times. So Pestilence is gone now. So that means we can throw out one of our rebirths next turn. Obviously going to let Pestilence die before we do that. Gormag Angler, perhaps? Yep. We're going to bounce our Wellspring, replay Wellspring. Journey to Nowhere. And Kuldotha Rebirth. And we can get cracking on his graveyard. Okay, why would he want that? Okay. We aren't going to crack our relic. We're going to hold a Pyroblast for if he goes for the seal away thing. Yeah, we're going to Pyroblast that. This has been an insane game. Okay, so we can sack 4 permanents. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4. Okie doke. We can hit him for 3 next turn, then we can. Okay. We're going to hold up our Pyroblast. I feel like Fadeaway is like the only card that can beat us now. Okay. So he was sandbagging 3 Fadeaways. Okay, so he concedes. Okay, so we won game 2. That was insane. Okay. I'm starting to think we just want... I don't know if we want Battle Screech or not. It's really tough. I think we're going to bring in Kor Sanctifiers for another lightning. We'll take out Galvanic Blasts. We'll keep in like instead of lightning bolt is what I mean, because lightning bolt can kill the thing, the guy. So we will. I guess we have 2 galvanic blasts, 4 lightning bolts. Don't want any electrickeries or shamans or missionaries or standard bearer seems bad. I'm not sure about. I don't think we want Battle Screech. I think we'll play the Kor Sanctifiers though, so we can kill Pestilence. Huh. We are on the draw. He's on a mulligan. We're going to mulligan as well. I guess we're keeping this, but it's not pretty. He's on a mulligan of 5. We just want lands. We want land. Down on the bottom. No play on turn 1. Did he just forget, or he just didn't want to go below 5? That seems more likely. Prism. No, we didn't hit a land. Oh, we're so dead. If he doesn't kill our Great Furnace. Okay, perfect. No, he had a bounce land. Oh, that's so bad for me. White. Yes. Bounce that. Play land. Kuldotha Rebirth. Sack R. Prophetic Prism. Oh gosh. We're in such bad shape. Dang it. We needed to draw more lands this game. Please draw a land. Please, deck. That's not a land. We're going to hold up our counterspell. Because Fade Away would be bad for us. It just gets rid of all of our pressure. If he jams Pestilence, then we can Wellspring. This is one of the reasons I like this deck, is because it's got a pretty proactive game plan, so we actually are putting a clock on our opponent. Pestilence, yep, he has it. Rats. Land? Please draw land. Yeah! That's good, because now if he wants to use his black mana to kill our guys, he can't also cast land destruction. And if he casts the Echo, like the card that makes us sack stuff, we'll just sack all of our guys. And he loses Pestilence, which is great for me. We're just going to draw 2 cards. Counterspell? Why would you mana leak that? Okay. Weird. Okay. Yep. I probably should have played my Kor Skyfisher instead. Definitely countering that thing. He has only 2 cards in hand. Sure. Perfect. Let's go. We're going to bounce the Prism instead of the Wellspring, because if he makes a sack permanent, we can sack this and one of our creatures and draw a card. Wrecked. The value! Wellspring value. Okay, if he makes a sack our last guy, then we're fine with that. Augur of Bolos, okay. We can bolt it. We don't even really need to, but we can. Looking for land. Yay! Give me an L-A-N-D. Land. Okay, this is why we're running bolts instead of blasts. Like blast would be better here, but if this were any other land, really, I mean, we just happen to have 3 artifact lands, and he can like target our artifact lands. Okay, he pondered. We don't want to counter ponder. Maybe we do want to counter ponder. Yeah, we'll counter ponder. Okay, we can put him to 1 if we want to. Oh geez, this is insane. We've also like blanked Pestilence. Does he have any edict in his graveyard? No, he does not. We might get there. Ooh. Okay, we have a counterspell for a blue spell. We have a lightning bolt to put him to kill him next turn. Maybe we were just supposed to play Kor Sanctifiers. Rats. Yeah, maybe we just ruined ourselves there. Yeah, we messed that up. We're supposed to play Kor Sanctifiers probably. Okay, Augur of Bolos. Icequake. Okay, we don't care about Icequake. If we draw a land, then we win. Okay. If we don't, no, we still win either way. Because we'll Journey to Nowhere, Pyroblast one of the guys. Okay, yeah. We kind of just ground him out of resources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, he was 1 short of the edict. And we have our bolt, so I'm not really worried. Bam, we got the win. That was a close one. Whew, but the deck has been playing out quite well. Quite well indeed. Geez, that was sick. Quite sick. I think this is going to be our last match, but it has been cool getting in some Pauper action. See if we can go 3-0. I will literally first. I think we won the die roll all 3 times. This is a great hand. I have a good feeling about this. He's on a mulligan, or she's on a mulligan, either way. Opponent is on a mulligan. Lead with our tap land. I don't want to hold up Galvanic Blast in the dark because they could just play a tap land and then we're in a bad spot. Okay, perfect. Blue, red, okay. Bouncing about a tap land with a Boros Garrison isn't great. Okay, so if they are, is it Blitz? Oh, they're Tron. Tron again. Okay, this looks like a slightly different version. The last one was like base green. We're going to Glint Hawk, place Wellspring again. Get a little threat on the board, because this version might run more counter spells. And yeah, we like to get in under the counter magic if we can. Okay, so he can get his Tron. C, Gate Oracle. This also might be the one that runs Ghostly Flicker and just gets a little bit of value out of that. So I think we're going to bolt this, play our Skyfisher, bounce Wellspring. Play our bounce land, bounce our mountain. Hit him for 2. So now we have a pretty good clock on him. Okay, he has drawn on turn 3, of course. And now he has all the colors he wants. I mean, on turn 4. He didn't even have to crack his map. He probably found it with Seagate Oracle. Mole Drifter. We can Galvanic Blast that. If we attack him and use a rally, then it's an extra 4 damage, but we'd rather just draw some extra cards for now. We're going to play Wellspring because he knows about it. And we'll play a Prophetic Prism just to fix our mana a little bit. Battle Screech is a pretty decent draw. Another Bolt is nice. So now we can use double Rally if we need to kill him. Okay, Pulse of Marasso to gain 6 life is kind of annoying, but it means all he's doing is casting Mole Drifter again. And then he'd have to discard to hand size. So that means we could... Okay, he's not discarding to hand size because he can play lands and stuff, of course, obviously. I think we're going to make him... Oh, that was a great draw. Okay, so we can go Bolt, Glint Hawk, and Battle Screech because we can bounce our Ancient Den with our Battle Screech, so we're going to do that. We don't need to draw the extra cards. We just kind of want to win with Rally the Peasants, which means we want to get full value out of our Battle Screech. I mean, we still want to keep hitting him for 4 if we can. This is one of the beauties of having artifact lands. And now we've definitely got him next turn, no matter what he plays. Unless he plays Rolling Thunder for killing all our creatures, which he could do. He's tapping for another Mole Drifter. Okay, we got him, I think. Especially because if we draw a land, we can... I guess we can't flash back our Rally the Peasants right now, so maybe we don't, but we have enough creatures that he's got to be dead. There's no way. Or he could just have a fog effect. Okay. We're going to attack, Rally the Peasants, then Ichor Wellspring, post-combat. I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume that he's got something. You have 2, 4, 6, 10. Yeah, he probably has a fog. Yep. Which means he has to hold up 3 mana for the rest of the game. Getting back Muldrifter. Wellspring. Okay, we'll just cycle the cave next turn or something. Okay, so he's got all the Muldrifters in the world. But he has to hold up 3 mana the rest of the game or he dies. And Rovahor. Okay. Let's go to our second Rally the Peasants. Definitely going to Journey to Nowhere that guy. He has a he can't cast a second Dinner of Horror. Jesus. Okay, another Muldrifter. And he does have the mana up. Gosh darn it. Getting rid of Dinner of Horror. Oh no, he's got Ghostly Flicker. Gosh darn it. Ugh. Oh, that's so brutal. Dang. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Okay, yeah, we might just lose now. Because he has the Dinrova Horror, like, flicker combo thing going. We didn't kill him fast enough, and he just got everything on. He had Tron too soon was the problem. You don't even have to crack his map to do it. Okay, if he has another... Okay, Mnemonic Wall, Ghostly Flicker is back. Yeah, I think we just lose. Yeah, he has the combo. We lose. Because we can't get through the horror, and yeah. So what he's going to do is he's just going to be able to Mnemonic Wall, then Robo Horror, and just get back Ghostly Flicker over and over, and just do that like 3 times a turn until we lose. Okay, so against this matchup, we want all of our Pyroblasts. Probably want our Relic. And our Kor Sanctifiers is an interesting option, but probably not. Okay. And then we'll take out all of our Galvanic Blasts. No, we'll take out our Bolts. And 1 Journey to Nowhere, because it's not as good against that. Their strategy. I guess we'll take out one of these instead of a Bolt. Try it like that. The logic being that Bolt's not as good because all it does is like kill creatures that already got value. Rally is not as good when he's got Fogs, and Journey's not as good when he's got Ghostly Flicker. Would like to play first. Fortunately, I have to ship it. We will keep this hand though. Put that on the top. I think we actually are going to go for the turn 1 Kuldotha. It's just a lot of damage, and he, like, it's kind of a slow deck, so we can just hit him with these over and over. We aren't going to play our Glint Hawk, though. Actually, yeah, we will. We'll play our Glint Hawk. We have 5 power on turn 2, and he's a deck that can't really like play blockers until turn like 4 or 5. Or at least turn 3. Hopefully, if he plays... Hopefully we can draw another... Hopefully we draw a red source, or we... If he plays like Seagate Oracle, there would have been a problem. Yeah, Seagate Oracle would have kind of wrecked us there, because then we would have only been able to attack in the air. But as it is, I think we're in great shape here. Yeah, we have lethal next turn now. Obviously, if he has electric, we're screwed, but kind of went all in on the aggro plan. Our hand kind of lent itself to that strategy. Man, all our guys get -1. Okay, Doomblade. Okay, so we still kill him because of our Galvanic Blast. We got the job done. Oh my gosh, that was a crazy rush right there. I still don't love... I still like the way we sideboarded, though. Maybe we want the Sanctifiers to kill his colored sources. I think we'll take out Rally for Sanctifiers. And then we'll run it like that. Yeah. Opponent might have sideboarded in a more scared fashion this time around. We have to mulligan. This hand is perfect if it has a second land, but we do not. We're keeping this though. We do want to scry a land to the top. Perfect. Because now we can go turn 2 Wellspring and then just be off to the races. And then we can like rebirth the Wellspring, and or we could just Skyfisher it over and over, but I think getting rebirth down early is going to be key. But only has 4 cards in hand. Hopefully we just keep hitting land drops. Perfect. Now we can Prism and Rebirth. Okay, we're going to play land first. Rebirth. Prism. He can counter the Prism if he wants. Okay, he's countering the Prism. That is fine. Where did he use his scries? He scried both to the top, which means he can't crack his map if he wants to draw both of them. Okay, it was clearly just lands, I think. Ball Drifter, okay, he evokes it. Okay, we are going to cycle this. Then we will relic, make him exile a card, Glint Hawk back our relic, and then pass. This way we don't have to bounce one of our lands. And we get a little bit of chip damage in on his graveyard, which does hurt his combo a little bit, though we're not really. Okay, we're going to play that. Oh, that was such a good draw. A lot of the cards we're most scared of are blue. And that's why we sided in all of our Pyroblasts. So now we can go relic. Okay. Yeah. Make him exile. And we can just counter the Mole Drifter. Skyfisher. That. Relic again. Pass. Okay, which land is he getting? Versus tower, okay. He plays the tower. If he tries to cast Mole Drifter, we'll counter it. We're going to make him exile his Mole Drifter from his graveyard. We have 7 damage of burn. I think we're just going to keep the relic around for now. Make his Haunted Fengraph a lot worse. Make Pulse of Marassa pretty dead. Okay, so he's got Power Plant. And a lot of colored mana. You can't cast Horror right now. Okay. So we're going to go to combat. If he casts... Okay. Fooey. Moment's Peace. He can't cast Moment's Peace. Okay, so we can go land, blast you, bolt you. Boom, we got there. Whew. I wanted to do that, and then I was going to exile graveyards and then play my Glint Hawk. But yeah, because we knew one of his cards with this. Whew, he tapped wrong. He should have tapped this land instead of this land. So maybe he wanted to use it next turn, because he was at 7 life still, or 6 life still. Boom, we got, all of our matches were incredibly close, but we did go 3-0. But anyway, that is going to do it for this YouTube video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Our matches were all super close. Our deck got to do its thing. We killed people with Rally. We killed people just with value and doing all sorts of cool stuff. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit about the Pauper format, how to play the matchups. I think this deck is very good. I felt very happy with it. I think the Rebirth plan makes the deck a lot more proactive, which is really helpful, and the Wellspring combo with Rebirth is pretty nice. It's just a very consistent deck, very strong deck, got a lot of card advantage built in, so I really do enjoy it. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to click that thumbs up and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Also, it's a great way to let me know you like Pauper content, and I'll continue to make more of it if the video is popular. If you that's not very good. Okay. If you have any questions or comments about the draft or the gameplay, not the draft, about the deck or the gameplay or how I sideboarded, or you just want to hype up the Pauper format, be sure to leave that in the comments section down below, and I will happily respond with my thoughts or answers. If you would like to catch me streaming live, you can find me on twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. There will be a link to that in the description down below. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. We managed to go 3-0, redeemed ourselves from our last one, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you next time.